My pastor has fallen to sexual sin. That's a tragedy. That's painful. That's horrific. And that's our topic today. Now, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do. Hit the subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified. And also, if your pastor's fallen, you might have some serious questions, concerns, fears, and doubts. Go ahead and write your questions in the little box where it says comment. Happy to respond to those as soon as possible. Stay tuned. My pastor has fallen to sexual sin. I know the feeling. I remember when one of my pastors fell recently. I was on a plane and I went through every one of my pastors since I've gotten saved. 50% of them fell to sexual sin. So I know your pain. I know it hurts. But there is some things that can be really, really helpful. Now, I've worked with many pastors who've flown in and done intensives and gotten healed and gotten better and gotten restored. And there's some that don't get healing and don't get better. I know that's true as well. But what do you do as a parishioner? You love God and you probably love your pastor. He's been spiritually feeding you, but he's a broken man. Now, oftentimes, his infidelity was not an accident. There's oftentimes been 1, 2, or 3 decades of pornography, self-behaviors, sexual secrets, not having an accountability partner, medicating through pornography, things like that led up to this behavior. Sometimes it's just an opportunity and it happens, okay? But regardless, you gotta see him as a man, and he can still be a man of God. He can still love Jesus, and Jesus can forgive him, but it still hurts you. So you might need to process your grief, what you lost in that situation. Maybe you lost some trust again. I've gone through that many times. But here's what I decided. I didn't give my life to my pastor. I gave my life to Jesus. And I trust Jesus, and he's not been unfaithful to me. He's not. Now, men will fall, and so can women. That's on them. It's not on God. So what I want you not to do is blame God. Well, why didn't God protect them? Why didn't God protect us? Why didn't we go through that? Well, that's you grieving because you know as a Christian, God has limited his almighty power to the human will and to the human heart. It stops right here. And he won't make us robots. So if we choose lust leads to sin and to death. The scripture tells us about that. Whether you're a pastor or not, it will happen, okay? So I want you to be kind about this. And if you need to go to another church, okay. If you need to process that with the elders, that's okay. You know, I would also inquire, are they getting him help? Make sure that he's getting counseling. He may not go back to ministry, although I've seen hundreds go back to ministry. I've seen pastors who've come before they've even gotten caught. Go back and stay stable and grow mighty churches, okay? God is big, but this hurts big. So I would encourage you to have a couple friends you can pray for your pastor and pray for yourself. Let yourself heal. Don't harden your heart towards men of God and the church. The church didn't betray you. A man betrayed you. God didn't betray you. A man betrayed you. So use the Spirit of God to give mercy to them and grace to yourself, and allow yourself to process with your spouse if you're married and your family and walk through the grieving of this, okay? In our society right now, half the men in any given church are struggling with sexual addiction and sexual impurity. It's massively a problem among men, and our churches need to stand up and become solutions. And I've got lots of solutions. If they're interested, they can go to drdougweiss.com. We have clean, lust-free living, the whole series on sexual addiction and purity. There's a lot to help teens get better. We need to be a sexually strong church, and we're just not. And so please, be gentle with yourself, be forgiving of them. Don't get stuck in that trap, okay? They're people, they failed you, and you've been failed before, and you've forgiven others, so forgive them. And please, don't leave the church. If you need to go to another church because it hurts too much, okay. But don't leave Jesus, because he's never left you. Now, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please do. Hit the button. If you have a question about what's going on, or if your elders need help and they need our support, please write that down there. I've worked with many pastors throughout 30 years who've really redeemed their life. But please, hopefully this is helpful. Subscribe. We'd love to chat with you. And hopefully this has been helpful for you as you walk through this particular wound.